everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Eradicator. Not only that, but this is the Platinum Chase variant. This is the David Connor version of Eradicator. I want to give a huge shout out to my boy Ben for finding this for me. He was on vacation, visiting his parents in Ohio. I asked him if he wouldn't mind stopping by Target. He did. And bam, found one of the few Platinum figures I'm still looking for. So let's take a look at the packaging. This guy was found at Target, by the way. So you can see the top, 22 moving parts. McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus. DC Multiverse Eradicator, McFarlane Platinum Edition. Here here's the package. Looks pretty cool, sort of semi-transparent, blue, purple, sort of glittery stuff. Looks like we have some alternate hands, display stand, collector's card. One side of the package says Eradicator from Return of Superman, even though this particular version is not from that storyline. Other side, Eradicator. At the bottom, there's his barcode, if that helps anybody. And on the back side, here's Eradicator posed up from the death and return of Superman. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand, a collector's card, and 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is the Eradicator, but not only that, this is the Platinum Chase variant. So the original Eradicator is an ancient Kryptonian weapon merged with a human body to form the last son of Krypton. Eradicator is sort of an AI, and like I said, it merged with a human body. During the events of the death and return of Superman, Superman died, and Eradicator became one of the 4 different Supermen to take over. We had the Cyborg Superman, Superboy, Steel, and Eradicator. When Superman came back, Eradicator actually stayed, sort of performed as a member of the Superman family, and helped him. Eventually, Eradicator and Superman tried to take down the Cyborg Superman, which they did, but Eradicator died in the process. Eradicator's body was taken to Star Labs, and he merged with David Connor, which was someone who worked there, thus creating this version of Eradicator, which has this unique sort of blue and purple look to him. He was a member of the Outsiders, and he continued to help Superman on and off over the years. Now, there is another version of Eradicator that McFarlane made, and that was the first version, the Gold Label Walmart exclusive, and that was a completely different version of Eradicator, another AI program that inhabited a body, but that one worked for General Zod, and I believe was from the Rebirth comics. So 3 different versions of Eradicator, and really, it's 3 different versions of Eradicator. He does have sort of a holographic look, like he's a computer program, but that's just the sort of the color scheme when he merged with that Star Labs technician. So let's take a closer look. Now, just like the other Eradicators, he has that giant fat chin and face. Now, if you raise it up a tad with a taller barbell, it does look a little bit better. Kind of reminds you of Jay Leno or Quagmire. I've seen a lot of people refer to this as Stan Smith, the Eradicator, and I really couldn't describe it better myself. Now, his paint job is really unique. It's sort of semi-transparent in some parts, but you can kind of see my finger through the cape. It has like glittery, shiny stuff all over him. Kind of gives you a space or holographic type vibe, and that's really what they were going for. The face is a little ridiculous. It seems like it's a little too large. If you had a better head for this guy, he would look way better. His cape is connected to the Superman logo, just like it should be. Light blue stripe down the middle, darker blue on the sides with all kind of shiny, glittery type stuff. The cape is like purple, but really dark purple here and lighter purple here. I think it looks visually very cool. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. He has that really annoying top-heavy pre-pose cape that's sort of going to the side. The paint job is very, very different and unique, and I like it. This is what a Platinum Chase should be. Something that's accurate from the comics, but not necessary by any means. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. The skin is really, really pale. His visor is sort of a copper color, and his hair is blue. The head sits far too low on the body, and it's way too sort of wide. The paint job is just really interesting, unique, and kind of cool. Now my figure here has this horrible gap between the sort of diaper piece and the torso. Very, very noticeable. If I lean the torso forward, it's not so bad, but it shouldn't really have to be that way. The gap, pretty bad. I did heat up the entire body and try to shove it down further, and it just really didn't make much of a difference. So that is annoying and disappointing, to say the least. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, a typical McFarlane display stand we've seen countless times before. And then we have his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Eradicator from the comics. He has the energy blast on his hands. Eradicator, Return of Superman. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Now let's check out his hands. He has a total of 4 hands, 2 left hands, and 2 right hands. Here's Eradicator with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his alternate pair of hands. These are some open, large hands. Look like they could be some grabbing, choking, or throwing hands. Now it would have been nice if he came with some energy effects. Eradicator's powers are similar to Superman. He can fly, he's super strong, he's very intelligent because he's a computer program, and he has energy projectiles. So this guy here, he does not glow in the dark, but he does kind of react to blacklight. Most of the time, semi-transparent plastic does. So I took my blacklight flashlight and shine on this guy in the middle of a lit up room, and the effect is pretty cool. Here's how he looks under blacklight in a semi-lit room, and then in a completely dark room. Now to look at the reuse, differences, and similarities between this Platinum version of Eradicator and the Death and Return of Superman version. And it is 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation, so let's take a closer look. So, starting with their heads, hair is black versus blue. The visor is kind of gold, more of a darker copper color. The skin is really pale, sort of normal flesh colored. The suit, it's dark blue in the middle, light blue in the middle, lighter blue on the sides, black on the sides, red for the cape and symbol, sort of purple or pink, I don't know, for the cape and symbol. The yellow is a lot more pale on this guy. Very unique looking figure. You don't get a lot of figures by McFarlane in the DC line that look like this, glittery and semi-transparent. I think it's pretty cool. We now have 3 figures utilizing this exact same base body. The first one is the original Eradicator, which was a good guy that helped Superman. The second one is actually the same character, but after he died, merged with a different human body. And the third one, I believe, is a different version of Eradicator altogether. This one worked for General Zod. Eradicator here utilizes the Hush Superman body, which has been used time and time and time and time and time again. They really haven't made that many figures with it lately, but let's check out the reuse and differences between this new Eradicator and the Hush Superman. So obviously, the heads are totally different. As we go further down, the torso is the same, the stomach is the same, the diaper piece is different. Obviously, the capes are different. You can tell by just looking at them. The arms and hands are going to be the same, and then I'd say the legs and boots are the same, even though you can barely see the sculpted boot cut unless you look hard on this guy, but it's exactly the same as this one. So a lot of similarities and a few differences. And here's a look at a bunch of different McFarlane DC Multiverse figures that utilize the Hush Superman body. First debuted on the Infected Superman. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories. Let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing right about 7 inches tall, which can translate to just under 18 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, he can rotate side to side. He can look up about that far, down about that much. Can tilt his head at least a little bit from side to side. Shoulders, a ball joint, goes about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got that butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increase the range of motion and covering a large gap that would be there. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate and it's hinged as well. Ball joint in his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one in his waist, rotate around, forward and back. You can just see how big that gap is. Hideous. Legs, complete to splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is minimal at best. Legs go forward, about that far. Back not much. Double jointed knees. And his ankle, forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock, and of course, to articulation. Here's a look at the Eradicator in Star Labs, his new home. And here's a look at all three versions of Eradicator in Star Labs. Here's a look at Eradicator floating above the metropolis skies. Now let's check them out. Next is some of their action figures, starting off with some of their McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here are all three versions of Eradicator. The very first one is from the Death and Return of Superman storyline. The second one, a little bit afterwards. And the last one, I think, is from the Rebirth comics. And here he is, next to the Cyborg Superman, another member of the Reign of the Supermen. On the far left, the blue version is from the Reign of the Superman, Death and Return of Superman storyline. The red one is from Revenge of the Green Lanterns. And then the other two are a whole different Cyborg Superman character from the New 52. Then, next to the Con-El Superboy, also known as Connor Kent. Actually, none of these versions are from the Death and Return of Superman storyline. The one on the far left, I think, is from the Rebirth comics, and the other ones are from Young Justice, those type of storylines. They are actually indeed the same character. We do have the Death and Return of Superman version coming soon in a Page-Wencher wave. Looking forward to completing the proper team. Next, with Steel. This is the regular and the Platinum Chase variants. Now, neither one is technically from the Reign of the Superman, but he's close enough. And here he is, next to Superman. None of which are technically from that era. Well, the closest one is going to be the far left, which is the 90s version of Superman, the big, giant, buff, swole body, and the mullet head. The one to Eradicator's left is a battle-damaged Superman from a fight with Doomsday, but it's from a more recent comic story. And the one on the far right is Superman in his black suit, his solar suit. That's the suit he wore when he came back to life, but again, this is a version from a completely different storyline. And since this guy is a Platinum Chase variant, let's check out all the different Platinum Chase variants McFarlane has released. Here are all the different Platinum Chase variants from 2020 through the end of 2023. And then here are all the Platinum variants from 2025. They've made quite a few this year, and it looks like they're probably going to surpass last year's output. The left side of this diorama has all these Silver Platinum Chase variants. I have 13 of them. And the right side of the diorama has the red Platinum Chase variants. I have 11 of those. And even though it looks like I have all of them, I'm still missing some. I'm actually down to only missing one Platinum Chase variant at this point, and that is the Collector's Edition Hawkgirl. That is my number one want in this line, and she's really elusive and hard to get. I've had GameStop scan it at least once a week, and there's only one Hawkgirl, and it's 72 miles from here, and there's no guarantee that's a Platinum version. So it's pretty much hopeless here. All the Canadian websites, CMD Store, Figuring for All, Toy Snowman, had her and sold out, and I missed her, or she was grossly overpriced. I'm looking for the Platinum Chase variant of Hawkgirl, and I'm also looking for the Superpowers Wave 4 Black Manta figure. Unfortunately, I lost the raffle on that one, and it's very elusive as well. Those are the only two things from having me not have a complete multiverse and Superpowers collection. If anybody out there can point me in the right direction, or can possibly help me out, please drop me a line in the comments below. It is much appreciated. A couple figures that are not pictured in this photo is the red Platinum Guy Gardner Red Lantern and the silver Platinum Yellow Jacket Mr. Terrific. I have those on the way from CMD Store. So if you add those in, looks like we have 15 silver Platinums. Well, I guess 16 if you count Hawkgirls. So this year they've made 16 silver Platinums and 12 red Platinums. I have no idea what the next ones are going to be, but rest assured, they're definitely not done. Now let's check them out. Next is some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the rest of his wave. At least I think. We have Bizarro, Cyborg Superman, Eradicator, Platinum Eradicator, Armored Hal Jordan, Jade, and Cowboy Batman. Now the rest of these guys were a solid wave, and he is a variant of Eradicator, but of course, he wasn't shipping with any of these guys. He seems to only be available at Target so far with the movie assortment of characters. It's kind of weird how to determine which ones are in the waves when they're offered in different assortments online or different stores, Target, Walmart, GameStop, etc. It can be confusing. Here's the Eradicator, next to the Target exclusive Collector's Edition Strange Lives of Superman, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants. And here he is, next to a couple more Target exclusives. These are gold label figures. We have the Revenge of the Green Lantern's Red Cyborg Superman, and the New 52 Superman. Then, with McFarlane's James Gunn Superman movie figures. I don't have all of them, still need Luthor, Ultraman, and Battle Damage Ultraman, but they are on the way. In front of you, we have Superman, Battle Damage Superman, Deluxe Superman that came with Crypto, then Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, the Superman Robot, and the Kaiju Beast. And now, with the most recent Batman theatrical assortment, we have the all-bronze Michael Keaton Batman, the Batman Forever Jim Carrey Final Suit Riddler, and the Batman vs. Superman Jeremy Irons Alfred. Here's Eradicator. Next to some McFarlane cover recreations, we have the infamous stolen Killing Joke Joker and the Dark Knight Returns Batman. And here he is, next to the Amazon exclusive glow-in-the-dark Captain Carrot. Then, with both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Walmart exclusive Year One Batman and Lieutenant Jim Gordon. And now, with both the regular and Platinum versions of Icon. And finally, with the GameStop exclusive Frostbite Red Hood and George Clooney Batman. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale, and now with some Jack-specific resin figures and some Diamond-like toys. Here's Eradicator next to a chocolate donut, and here he is with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then with both some Mattel and Jazzwares resin figures, and now with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends, and finally with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a pretty weird but cool Eradicator figure. The semi-transparent, sort of glittery paint job is weird, but neat at the same time, and I think I like it. He has that big gap between his diaper and torso area, which really sucks, but I did an extreme job of the splits with him, and it did push the diaper up some. Still, the gap is worse on this one than the regular Eradicator, and it's worse on the regular Eradicator than the old Walmart exclusive one. It's almost like the diaper they chose isn't quite flush, and I could probably heat it up and mess with it and get it a lot better, and I probably will. His accessories are damn near non-existent, extra pair of hands, and they're those ugly, weird grabbing hands. He really needed some energy blast to come out of his hands. His articulation, it's everything you'd expect from a modern McFarlane figure, even though it's an old body, and that body has been done to death. Sculpt and paint job, it's pretty cool. I think that paint job is very unique. If I were to rate this figure, I'd probably give him a 7. I'd assume I rated the regular Eradicator a tad higher than that, but I'd give that guy a 7 also. The head sits a little too low on the neck, and the head is too fat, the chin is too big. That's why everyone calls him the Stan Smith Eradicator, and I get it. I'm still happy to have him, but he really wasn't the big, fat, bloated face-looking guy in the comics. He was a pretty normal-looking guy with these weird, ugly shades. Still, I like it. It's very unique, and this is exactly what a Platinum should be. A variant that's accurate to something, but not necessary by any means, and that's exactly what this guy is. If I was a casual collector, and I wanted the Reign of the Superman team, and then I found out about this guy and I couldn't find him, I really wouldn't hurt my feelings too much because it's not necessary. It's when they make the Platinum versions a necessary figure that it's very irritating. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.